Hi everyone, it's me AJ. Welcome to another session of Live with AJ. And hello, I see you. Welcome to another live session of Live with AJ, where we bring on experts and experienced voices to inform us, educate us, and really help us make more informed decisions. Hello everyone. Hello. Yes. So today we have a very special guest. We've had him on before and we are ecstatic to have him back here. So this person is the one name that comes to mind when you think of toxicology now. He is a lot more than that. He is in the pharmaceutical industry as well. And he is a brilliant teacher. If I had more teachers like him when I was in school, I don't know where I'd be today. And so it gives me all joy for him to lead this topic today. It's on retinoids, just the entire retinoid family, retinoids for taking care of acne, anti-aging, and why it's really called the gold standard of anti-aging or skincare in general. We'll bring on Mo from Mo Skin Lab to take us through it today. So show him some love in the comment section. Hi Mo.
Hey,
Hello.
how are
How are
you?
you?
Can you hear me well?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear
Okay,
you. How are you
perfect, perfect.
doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you? How's your day?
I'm okay. It's a
That
lot.
doesn't sound good.
It's a lot. The day has been a lot. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna lie. Yeah. It's
yeah,
getting to the end of the year, so a lot of preparations here and there. And
yeah. We need more energy, to be honest.
yes, I do. How was
All
your
of us.
day? How was
All.
your
It
day?
was okay. It was a little bit as well overwhelming, I would say. I am in the middle of my internship, so the work is starting to get serious. So, yeah, that's the only way I can describe it.
Yeah. So, what's a typical day like for you? I know we've asked that already, but
Yeah,
how is it like for you now, especially towards the end of the year? What's it like?
yeah. In general, I'm going to expose myself. I'm not an early bird person. I'm a night owl. Like if I had the chance to sleep in, I would do it like daily. But appointments, university, internship.
Mhm.
So you can do that all the time. But yeah, I try to enjoy my morning. I try my best because I'm not a morning person, so I have to do something to enjoy it. And most of the time, it's revolve around food. So I had to get a good breakfast. If I'm not having my good breakfast, my day is not good. So yeah.
That's right. And what's your typical breakfast like?
I would say like it's a typical like Syrian breakfast. So it has cheese, it has some very fresh vegetables, a cup of tea, like a Syrian bread. So I enjoy everything. It's like a good meal. Like most of the time when I came here to Italy, the breakfast is very like I don't know how to describe, very fast, like a cup of cappuccino and a croissant, and that's it. Like that's the breakfast for the Italian population. But for me, I can't function on that. I have to have decent breakfast.
Okay, so this is not part of a plan, but just having an understanding. You're saying here in Italy, so you've not
Yeah,
always been in Italy.
no. Like I've been here more than a little bit more than 2 years.
Okay, where you originally?
I'm originally from Syria.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're the first person I'm meeting from Syria, so
yeah.
I'm hoping I'm the first person you met from Ghana as well.
Yes, like
Good.
so it's a mutual feeling.
Good. All right, so we've already started Valentina says Syrian breakfast is the best. Valentina, one day we just have to taste it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, we're just going to go through rapid fire questions and
yes,
dive right in. Is that
yes.
okay?
Let's go.
Okay. So at the movies, do you get up before the credit rolls?
Yes.
Even for Marvel?
Yes.
No,
I'm sorry.
no.
I'm sorry. I enjoyed the movie most of I love enjoying the movie, but I can't like contain myself at the end. I have to like get this energy out.
Okay, so let me just say that it means you're a DC fan because you cannot be a Marvel fan and not wait for the credits to roll. Like there's always
Sorry.
something at the end.
I'm I wouldn't describe myself like how to say it without offending anyone. An original Marvel like fan. Like I love the movies. Whenever I get the chance to see them, I would, but like I wouldn't like kill myself to if I can explain it this way.
It makes sense.
Okay,
It makes sense. Okay. Dark chocolate or white chocolate?
dark for sure.
Dark chocolate. Okay. Who inspires you or motivates you to be the best you? Because you know you inspire a lot of people out there, including me. So
That's a lot of pressure now.
yeah, who does that for you?
Okay, so I have I don't know, I don't want to sound like so self-centered in a way, but I always imagine myself at the dream life of mine, and I look up to that version, and I want to achieve that version of myself when everything is settled in, everything under control, I have a decent life. So that's the most because from a previous experience, I had a person, I would not mention the name, as a role model, but after after getting into like try to understand this person more, try to understand what they do and etc., a new face showed up, and I was like in a way disappointed. So since then, I'm not like picking names or anything, just focus on my pathway.
Okay, so you look at the you that you want to be and you motivate yourself with that.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
want to reach that point.
Do you have a vision board?
No,
No. Okay.
I'm a bit lazy for this. I'm sorry.
That's fine. I'm working on mine. So next year. Next year.
Hopefully, hopefully.
Yeah. If you could teach one subject for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Pharmacology for sure.
Okay.
100%.
Okay. Do you have a bucket list and what's on it? Like the top on it.
In a way, this will lead to a funny accident I had recently, but in a way, I don't have a bucket list, but I really enjoy if I see something that that is excites me in a way. I want to try it immediately, even if I don't know anything about it. So 3 days ago, a quick story. 3 days ago, a friend of mine invited me for ice skating. I never done this before, and this led me to dislocate my shoulder. So
No.
yeah, but thankfully I'm fine now. Like the shoulder got back by itself. I don't know how, but yeah, that's my, let's say, my vision towards new things. I want to try them even once.
Okay, that's nice. I
Yeah,
think next time I speak to you, we'll get something on your bucket list. Because,
yeah,
yeah, that's great.
fully.
Okay. I think I'll let us dive right in. At least
Yeah,
people
let's go.
who have met you before have got a picture into who Mo is with today's session. Welcome, everybody. Thanks again for joining us. And we're talking about retinoids as the gold standard in skincare. And we're
Yeah.
going to delve deep in it. If you have any questions, please do not leave them in the in the comment section. Put it in the question box so it's easier to access as we go. So Mo,
Yes.
everybody uses the word retinol as the umbrella term for retinoids. Not everybody, but it's been generalized so much.
True.
What would you call retinoids? And like, what's the family? Give us a little breakdown.
So I would use the term retinoids because in a way you can cover like naturally occurring vitamin A derivative and synthetic one. So it's the more like the broad spectrum, let's say, term for vitamin A derivatives. It's a huge tree of compounds. There is, let's say, a spine of metabolic pathway that we all know and see it online, from retinol esters to retinoic acid. This is the spine. But the tree itself, in a way, is way more branched. Like a lot of other pathways can lead to this metabolic spine. So the numbers of, let's say, family members is a big one. We cannot cover them in a one life or two lives. So it's I would use them as in a way I would use the general term as retinoids. Retinol is considered biologically the active form of vitamin A.
Okay.
That's it. Our bodies use the retinol as in circulating blood. So when you want to do like to detect how much vitamin A you have in your blood, they will detect retinol. Our body also needs to like store it for later time or in the future, and it's stored as retinol esters, which is also used in cosmetics as well, and considered like the weakest part of the metabolic pathway of retinoids.
Okay, so if I'm getting you right, retinol is just one of the retinoids in the family.
Yes.
And if you're going to classify them, what would you say is the weakest to the strongest, like the main terms that are used generally?
Yeah, it's I personally have an issue with the word like strength or weakness. In a way, it's because the only biologically active is retinoic acid. That's the only biologically active. The other are just like you are pushing the pathway toward retinoic acid.
Okay.
That's what I want to focus on. And let's say the best, what I consider the better, let's say not the best, the better way to describe them, in my opinion, is the speed. How speedy are you going to see results from those compounds? So let's say the slowest is retinol esters. Then we have retinol, then retinal, then retinoic acid, which is the active compound that give you the results.
Okay, so just for clarity, the tretinoin is retinoic acid, or is it?
Tretinoin is called all trans retinoic acid. It's the molecule itself, let's say. So tretinoin is the, let's say, how to describe it? It's what do you see written on the tretinoin cream or vitamin A cream, prescription, of course, the drug. And other names for like isotretinoin, alitretinoin, and other type are just like a small modification to the molecule itself and have also different names.
Okay. I remember seeing one of your videos that said retinol and retinol, in describing how they work. You mentioned that retinol has a shorter conversion step to the and which is the retinoic acid, and retinol could reverse in the process. Could you just walk anyone?
So basically, let's say you applied a retinol cream on your face, and it goes through your skin towards your epidermis, the living cell of the epidermis, and the dermis as well. So the cell will pick it up, and there are a cascade of enzymes that help transform retinol to retinal. It's called the alcohol dehydrogenase, or this is the enzyme name.
Okay.
This step is reversible, which means retinol to retinal can be at any moment retinal back to retinol, because the body has, in a way, an equilibrium, like a balance inside the cells. It needs to maintain it, because if we have too much retinol, that can have a negative effect on the cell. So it has this balance between left to right and right to left. So then we have, after transfer to retinol, retinol can transfer to retinoic acid by retinoic acid dehydrogenase as an enzyme, but this step is irreversible, which means when retinol, you apply retinol on your skin, it can transfer to retinoic acid, and retinoic acid can't transfer back to retinol. So in a way, this is, when I did this reel, a lot of people are not patient enough to see results from retinol. So I told them, in a way, this metabolic pathway, yes, me too, trust me. A metabolic pathway is can be slow. A result can take a lot of time. That's why people don't stick with retinoids. It can take a decent amount of time. So I told them, you can use retinol, which is now popular in skincare, that can save you a little bit of time, and maybe for some people can be less cause less irritation for your skin, and in a way have like a loophole for this metabolic pathway. You are pushing towards immediately retinol to retinoic acid.
Okay, that's very interesting, because generally people would think that if it's closer in process to get into retinoic acid, then probably it's going to be more irritating. But a lot of people don't really get that formulation is key.
True. True.
I've used retinols before, and I've used retinols, and I've found that the retinol, one of my favorite retinols, that's Sashi's retinol. It's so smooth and works. It's so easy to use. I've never had any irritation with it. Even when I'm having irritated skin that I advise everybody not like to lay off everything, I'm still able to stay on that retinol. But it's a good thing to point out as well, if you feel you don't have the patience to ride it through, when possibly it could reverse at some point when you're using a retinol, then retinol is your better bet. Sorry.
Exactly. Very well explained. And it's in a way considered a shortcut. If you are done with retinol, we need something like faster to see, to maintain a result or whatever, go for retinol.
Okay. You started talking about the layers of the skin. Could you give us like a brief intro for anybody who doesn't really know the different layers of the skin? How does how do retinoids, work? And what is the skin layer like? What are the different layers like?
Yes, so our skin, as we all know, it's like the largest organ, and most of the skincare people are obsessed with the skin. So it's a very interesting organ, very complex, and very beneficial for us, of course. It is made mainly from 3 layers, which is the epidermis from top, the outmost top layer of the skin. Then we have the dermis, then the hypodermis, which is below the dermis. So the epidermis in general are made of 5 types of cells, or 5, let's say, not types of cells, 5 points of the life cycle of the cells, let's say. So they are made of 5 layers. Each layer is like 3 to 5 cells of thickness. It's not thick enough for in general. So the skin cycle starts from the bottom to the top in the epidermis, of course. We have the basal layer of the epidermis. It's made of cells that are able to divide. It's the only place of the epidermis that contains cells that are considered alive and able to divide. That's why you have a renewed skin every 3 weeks, let's say. And then as the cells move from the basal layer of the epidermis upwards, it starts in a way dying off. So the cells start to lose its nucleus, the cells start to lose its organelles inside the cell, and increase the production of what we call the protein keratin. That's why are they called the keratinocytes. So this keratin gives our cells this feeling of being a strong tissue. To a certain extent, it's considered what gives us the strength of our skin. So as the cell move towards the surface that we can touch with our skin, it's completely dead, but it's considered an let's say a sack of keratin protein, and this everything that tell us this was a cell is completely gone. So it's a completely dead skin. And then the cycle happens very fast when we were young. Let's say the children and infants happens every 2 weeks almost. And between 20 to 30 years old, it happens every 3 weeks. And each 10 years, we will add 1 week in a way, because we will give a range. Because if each person is different, we can give a specific day for each person.
Mm-hmm.
So the cycle in general happens like every 3 to 4 weeks in the middle-aged people.
Okay. So generally, if anybody was to understand it this way, snakes shed their skin more visibly.
Yes.
But
Yes.
human skin, like all the other cells in our bodies, is constantly being renewed. So
True.
pushes out and then new ones form from the bottom up. And that's the cycle you're talking about.
Exactly.
Okay, so with this cycle, if I'm to look at it this way, then we'd say that dark spots and scars and everything with time should ideally heal.
Supposedly, and when you understand it like this, yes, time can be a very inexpensive and effective treatment for your skin. Let's consider it. If you take every protection measure from like the sunscreen and don't pick your pimples, etc., don't cause any trauma in the future, the time will help you heal it to a certain extent. Not every hyperpigmentation, not every scars.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I wanted to also link it to this point where some people would pair the skin being shed when you're using retinoids. They would call it exfoliation, but I know from what I've learned that that is a different process altogether. Now, could you make it very clear what exfoliation is and what desquamation is from what I have?
So desquamation is the natural process that everyone's skins are able to do. Like everyone who has a skin is able to do this natural process. It's a very complicated process. It depends on very specific and accurate signals between the cells and the concentration of ions and etc. to help the cells shed out and be removed from the top, the surface of your skin. Exfoliation, in a way, it's let's say it's a help for the skin to do the natural process better. Some people need this exfoliation help and some other people don't. Most of the time, oily skin people need it because with the overproduction of sebum, in a way, slows down the natural process of shedding your skin cells. So exfoliation can help you in a way remove those cells. So exfoliation can be done through acids that we all know and love. Also some enzymes, some physical exfoliation that can be physically scrubbing away your top layer of your skin.
Okay, so if I'm getting it right, when we're talking about exfoliation, we're just talking about top level separation of the dead skin.
It depends. You can go deeper with, the clinical, the clinic operation with high concentration of acid. It can go very deep. You can reach the dermis. So,
okay, that's it. Okay, so you have the superficial ones, you have the medium depth, and the very deep. Okay. Now, when you were talking about retinoids, the families, I realized that you didn't even mention one ingredient. It's very debated in the skincare community because people call it the retinol alternative. Now, why is that? Is that even problematic to start with? And why so? When we're talking about bakuchiol here.
Of course. I wouldn't say it's not problematic. It's just scientifically not accurate, let's say, because bakuchiol, like structurally speaking, the bakuchiol is literally when you see it online and you see the structure, you can say, oh, it looks similar, but it's totally different for the chemist eye when it sees bakuchiol. Bakuchiol is considered a merotrypine phenol, and the vitamin A is a totally different kind of group of ingredients or group of molecules, sorry. So bakuchiol, I think the most annoying part is the giving it this alternative, like retinol is bad in a way, or it's going to give you irritation 100%, but it's not the case for all the people. So let's jump to the scientific evidence. Bakuchiol was found when compared to retinol. In a way, it works on the same pathways, but it does not interact with, I couldn't find a paper that say, okay, bakuchiol can interact with the retinoid receptors and work with the same way as retinoids does. It leads towards the kind of the same results, but with not so much evidence. Let's say it as this. And to make it more understandable, I will give you an example. We all know the painkillers, ibuprofen. Mm-hmm. We all use it and it's effective, etc. There is another type of painkillers called morphine, which is an opioid. So both of them are painkillers. They give you the goal of killing the pain and numbing the pain, but they work in a different way. Ibuprofen stop your prostaglandin production, or morphine works on opioid receptors and block the pain from your central nervous system. So they are both painkillers. They both give you not the same level of pain killing, let's say, but it's giving you the same result, numbing of the pain.
Okay. I hear you and everything. My brain just branched off a little because I'm having a bit of a headache. So I was just
yeah, sorry.
open. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get what you mean now. I get it.
Yeah.
So I just find it also a bit some way because it's mainly the clean beauty movement that is pushing it as a retinoid alternative, making it seem like retinoids are bad and bakuchiol isn't a
safer.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's where the problem really is. But yeah, another form of retinoid is the oral one. So yes. I know that when I was younger, when I was dealing with like massive acne that I couldn't do anything, I was put on retinoid, the oral isotretinoin, for a while. I was told, well, you shouldn't get pregnant on it, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. I just couldn't stick to it, but I've seen people with massive results from sticking to a routine from oral retinoids. So can you just take us through how that works as well?
Yes, so the isotretinoin, although it sounds like tretinoin, but it's a kind of a different molecule. Okay. Its scientific name is the 13-cis retinoic acid. So it's a way different of the spatial position of atoms inside the molecule. It's taken orally to treat a lot of cases. It's also used to treat some type of cancers as well. The dosage can range depending on your body weight, like most of the drugs. So you have to have a very direct connection with your dermatologist or your physician to assess how much isotretinoin you have to take, because it's a very strong drug. Yeah. And the way it works, the isotretinoin, let's say, very lipophilic or fat-loving molecule. It accumulates in the fatty tissue, and where does also we have oily things is the pores of our skin, the sebum production glands in our skin. So isotretinoin goes there and slows their ability to renew itself as a gland. So the cells inside the glands, in a way, slows down. They cannot renew themselves and keep up with the production of sebum for our skin. And that's why we see the side effects of being super dry, the cracked lips, even we have some glands inside our digestive system in our mouth. Also, we feel some dryness inside the eyes for lubricating the eyes. Also, the cells there are affected sometimes. So in a way, it's targeting those sebaceous glands in the skin.
Okay. Okay. I took us there because I would like us to properly address some of the myths and misconceptions around
Yes.
using vitamin A derivatives. Sorry. So one of the myths is, I wouldn't call it, you would prove to me whether they're myths or not, since you're versed in it. It says that you cannot use retinoids when you're pregnant. That's topical retinoids.
Yes.
How true or false is this?
It's, to be honest, the issue with it is that ethically we can do studies on pregnant women. So the data is missing. We don't know exactly. But it's an approach of better safe than sorry that all dermatologists says, okay, we cannot use topical retinoids while pregnant, because I think I've said this in our previous live, is that we are very different as humans. We are all the same species, but as individuals, we are very unique when it comes to how our body reacts to external chemicals. So how we are going to metabolize it, how we are going to deal with it, how we are going to excrete it. So that is a scary thing. Okay, let's say 1,000 pregnant women used the topical retinoids and nothing happened. That doesn't mean that the women 1,001 will share the same experience. Okay. That is the scary part about it. So it's just a better safe than sorry approach.
Okay, so it's more of a precautionary angle to it, because from what I understand as well, from penetration and absorption and everything, we know that not much goes into the skin, and in quantities to be harmful to the skin. I understand it from the perspective of oral medicine, like for the Roaccutane that I was on, but when it comes to topical, I'm with you on the fact that there's not much studies on it, because ethically, you won't test on pregnant people. But I'm just on the balance, on the fence a bit with this one, because when I was pregnant with my first, I didn't use retinoids at all. But then using a bit of what I know in terms of how much actually goes into the skin and the percentages of the retinols I was using, I was just like, you know what, I can continue with this routine and it'll be fine. At the same time, someone else might use it, and like you're saying, the 1,001st person to use it who might have a problem. So yeah.
Exactly. It's just like, because we cannot analyze everyone genomic profile and know how they will deal with it topically.
Okay. Well, another thing too that people say is that young people can't use retinoids. I'd like you to give your part on that one.
It depends on where the country where are you resident or living right now, because it's a different regulation. But for example, the FDA is responsible for the US, the EMA is responsible for the EU, and they set an age limit for each drug molecule. So different drug molecules have also different specification. Adapalene can be used, I'm not 100%, but I think from 13 and above or 11 or above, you can use adapalene. Retinoid can be a different story. So it's not about you can't, but it depends on your specific situation. If you are going to a dermatologist, they will know your age, your weight, your health history, and they will assess you and give you the exact retinoids that you need. Cosmetics, most of the time you can use them like whenever you start to get acne, for example, and you tried other options like salicylic acid, etc. You can try them. They are mostly in all the, let's say, all cases, not 100% because, like I said, we are all different, but they are very safe as a product because cosmetics shouldn't pose a risk at all because they are used by a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah. When I heard this initially, I felt a bit weird on it as well because I started using retinoids quite young. I was having terrible breakouts when I was younger, so it was mainly retinoids to deal with acne and not
Yes.
for its anti-aging benefits. So hearing it later on from some people that young people don't use, I'm like, then what are they going to use for acne, really?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's a good option. It's a gold standard for a reason.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Another thing, let me just quickly. So we've spoken about it from the perspective of acne. When it comes to anti-aging, what makes it the gold standard? I'm very hesitant to use the word anti-aging because everybody has to age, it's a privilege.
Of
So
course.
well is the term that's going. But as anti-aging is still in use, what can we say about retinoids being used, being held to the standard, to the gold standard of anti-aging?
There are multiple reasons that retinoids deserve this title, let's say. First of all, the amount of evidence that is behind those family of ingredients. There are tons of studies, there are in vitro, in vivo, in real people. There is a lot of data, like if you search on any website that is like organizing research paper, you see tons of results when you type just retinoids. The second reason, because of their very unique mechanism of action, vitamin A derivatives or vitamin A can, let's say, have two main pathways that they work on. One is genomic, that I will give you an example later and help you understand how that works, and non-genomic pathway. So the genomic pathway, let's understand it as this. So in your nucleus inside of your each cell, consider yourself in a room full of drawers. Full of drawers. Each drawer has the blueprints to make a protein, to make an antioxidant, to make something that will help your cell to survive. As we get older, the blueprints do not change. They stay the same. We have the same blueprints. But the drawers get rusty in a way. So the cell can't access those blueprints as they used to be when we were younger. So
Okay.
what does retinoid does or retinoids does is that they lubricate those drawers and remove this rust. So the cells can access those blueprints and make more protein, more antioxidants, more macromolecule that will help our cells to survive. The non-genomic pathway is affecting enzymes, affecting antioxidant production, affecting how our cells react to inflammation, etc. For example, retinoids can help us with breaking down the enzyme responsible for chewing down the collagen, what we call them the metalloproteinases. Those are enzymes responsible for chewing down the collagen and making our skin content of collagen way much less. So retinoids block the overexpression of those enzymes. Also, the way they can work on inflammation, they teach our cell in a way to react to inflammatory or have a very well organized inflammatory response. So they work in a very, let's say, branched way inside the cell. That's why they deserve this title.
Okay. So you've taken us very deep scientifically.
Yes.
I'm I'm also looking at it this way. So if someone was saying that we're saying retinoids are the gold standard of
Yes.
anti-aging, of skincare, of everything, um, does that mean that someone can be on just retinoids and sunscreen use and antioxidants and be fine? Or would you say that they could consider treatments as an option to help deal with some more pressing issues like the fine lines and the wrinkles and so on?
So I wouldn't say like if you are very interested of taking care of your skin, topical things, even if it's cosmetics or drugs, can give you a certain result, certain level of result.
Mm-hmm.
Operations in clinics and the spas, etc., like with radio frequency, some lasers, some LED therapy, they will give you better results because they will target different pathways than the tretinoin. Tretinoin will, let's say, have a 100 pathway that it will work on, and that's it. There are millions of pathway inside the cells that affect how our skin will age in a way. So, and also if you are using just topicals, the synergetic effect of using, let's say, a LED therapy or radio frequency can have a synergetic effect to give you even better results. And then we have the next level, which is the, let's say, the injectable or more heavier cosmetic operation like fillers, Botox, etc. They come with a more risk, but they give you even better result, and so on. So it depends on your approach of taking care of your skin.
Okay. Okay. So generally, if you are able to keep a consistent routine, then retinoids should help you um, maintain that normal skin cycle that you had probably when you were younger, because it's helping it. It's just aiding it. But if you want to see quicker results and more dramatic results, maybe, then you would go for treatments.
Yes. Anyway, let's phrase it this way. Even the prescription retinoids, they will slow down. They wouldn't be able to reverse. There is nothing, unfortunately, until this moment that literally can reverse our cells. So the aging process of our, let's focus on the skin, is not really fully understood. Like, why is it happen? There are some hypotheses here and there that explain it, but the exact reason that what is the pathway that is leading to aging, we don't know it exactly. We are seeing changes, but why those changes are happening, not fully understood. Because if we understood those the aging process as a whole, we will know how to stop it or even reverse it. But we don't know. We are like, in a way, I don't want to sound very depressing, but we are in a sinking ship and we just like covering the hole with the glue, and we are trying to make it survive as best as possible. That's it.
It's
You
just
can't do anything more.
it's a cartoon that's coming to mind. A sinking
Exactly.
water coming out, and then someone really trying to use.
Exactly. This is using tretinoin. That's it.
No, but generally, I think on a more positive note, it really is a blessing to grow.
Of course.
So
Of course.
I know so many factors affect aging as well. Genetics come into play, so
Lifestyle.
yeah, lifestyle, diet, in some ways, like so many things come into play. So we can only hope that by taking care of our skin a certain way, we can slow what is actually showing out there. It
Yeah.
shouldn't really be a big deal, but it actually is.
True, very true. It's the point is that I want just to add really quickly is that when you are using retinoids, you shouldn't consider that we are slowing the natural process of your skin, the natural aging of your skin, because we are living a modern life. We are bombarded by pollutants that accelerate this aging. So in a way, you are just trying to reverse it to the natural rhythm that your gene and yourself or your skins are doing. That's the way I can describe it.
Okay. When you were talking, you mentioned prescription retinoids, and I'd like to bring it back to it. So I know that in some countries it's illegal to get, or it's not, let me not say illegal, it's not even available over the counter to get prescription retinoids. But in some countries, it's still available. Why should people not just rush and get these high strength or prescription retinoids just because it's available? Because when I went to Ghana, it was very easy for me to access that
Same.
from a pharmacy. Yeah. But when you come to the UK, I don't think you can get it without getting a prescription from the derm. Why should someone who has access to it not jump straight into it, see a derm first, or, you know, just start from retinols and build up? And just if you can give.
Yes. So to be honest, that's a very important case. Like same back home, it's very accessible. I worked in pharmacies for a few years, more than 3 years, and people come in and request it, but you have in a way to educate the people that they are coming in, like, why do you want this? Have you tried other options? There are tons of options: topical antibiotics, topical acids. So why are you going straight to this way? And I would tell these people, don't rush it. It's an option. It will always be available. The risk with it, because it's a drug, it's a prescription drug, the risk is much higher compared to other options. So why, in a way, dip your, let's say, foot in a dangerous place and not to try the previous solution, like skip jumping in a way, all those options that can work perfectly for your skin, that can give you the result that you want. But using prescription retinoids should be always under supervision of a dermatologist, and in the least cases or the weakest cases, listen to your pharmacist or your family doctor when you are using, because it's a drug. And again, I would repeat that everyone is different. I've used retinoids prescriptions since they were prescribed to me. I didn't have a single side effect. Other people, literally skin shed to the point of no return. So we are all different in a way.
Yeah. I know you said this also previously, that it's not the higher the better. But I think it's worth reiterating that the higher is not the better,
Of
especially
course.
in the case of prescription drugs. Because from what I learned as well, I may not, for anti-aging, you don't need 1% of the tretinoin to deal with that. I mean, for
Exactly.
acne, from percentage that is reasonable to deal with, but then for anti-aging as well. Could you speak a little bit to that? Like,
So yes, the why there is let's answer this question, why there is, like, let's say tretinoin as a cream, which is a prescription drug, why there are different concentration of 0.025, 0.05, and zero point 0.1. Oops, everything okay?
yeah, everything's fine.
Yeah. So why are those options are available? Because back to the same point, people are different. I can tolerate 0.1%, fine. I don't have any issue with it. My skin is used to it. But let's say an ex-friend of mine literally cannot tolerate 0.025%, even with short contact therapy. So you have to build your way to the highest strengths. And again, it's not about the word how strong it is. It's in a way how fast you will get this result. With the highest concentration, you will get faster result, but you will have to deal with a package of way much higher risk of irritation and side effects. So those options are there to help your dermatologist to assess your skin type, to assess your tolerability towards this molecule, and give you the exact dosage of this molecule. So that's the main reason. You don't have to skip jump anything. Go slowly. It's they say a marathon, not a race. So go slowly with it. Give your skin time to adjust, and you will see an amazing result.
I like that. You've just jumped to one of the points that I wanted us to cover. You've given very, very accurate advice to people who are starting tretinoin. Start slowly and start gradually. Don't just jump to the highest percentage. You can start smaller and then build up to it. Another thing would be the frequency. How frequent would you say someone should use when they're starting?
Okay, so the best advice that I can give anyone starting, or this is my first time using a retinoid, is listen to your skin. It's an advice not only for retinoids, to any product that you are going to use, even if it's prescribed by your doctor, because your doctor cannot know what your future reaction to a drug or a cosmetic will be. No one will know. Only yourself will understand, okay, if I'm applying this, I'm feeling some tingling, some burning, I have to stop using that. So start very slow. If your skin is super sensitive, start with short contact therapy where you apply it for 10 minutes and then wash it off. Then you build yourself through the weeks. The next week I can increase it to 20 minutes. The week after I can increase it to 30. So it's in a way like you're building muscle in a gym. So you just don't go to the gym and try to lift 100 kilograms. You will dislocate your shoulders. So you have to start slow, start with 1 kilo, etc. So the same approach, use it for skincare, specifically with retinoids, because they have a lot of a risk of irritation for a lot of people.
I like how you talked about the short contact therapy, because it's something that admittedly it's newer to me. I've always been the one to start a few days a week and then graduate to daily use. Do a patch test first, always. But I more recently came to it with Cypher Skincare's 88 meters per hour. They're
Yeah, I think so.
for short contact treatment with their retinoid. And you've been speaking about that as well. How effective is short contact therapy with retinoids?
It is quite effective. Retinoids, because like I said before, they are a family of fat soluble molecule. They can penetrate the skin in a very good manner. They can reach the dermis. They can give you the result that you want. The short contact is not, in a way, a new approach when it comes to dealing with the skin concerns. It's been used in dermatology, I think, for a long time, when you have to deal with a skin concern, but the skin is not tolerating that treatment.
Okay.
So dermatologists have been using it for a long time. I even remember when I was working in a community pharmacy back home, a prescription of antiseptic that is effective for specific skin infection was prescribed to be used like for 10 minutes and then try to wash it off, because the person was allergic towards this. So, or the tolerability and the risk is very high with this person. So it's been using for a long time, and this brand in a way use this as a good way to give an option for people with very sensitive skin.
Yeah. That's great. Now, looking at all of this, if someone is having the side effects, which we've mentioned earlier on, so dryness, flakiness, even purging for some people. I've recently been put on prescription retinoids, and I've started having these bumps coming up. I never used to have it like that, but they started coming up, and I know that's what it is. What
Yes.
would you say the difference would be between a normal, say, breakouts and then purging, and how can someone manage these side effects when they start using retinoid? Oh,
Okay, to exactly know, like acne formation takes weeks to happen. The pimple doesn't like, okay, I want to just appear now, and that will happen. It takes week. Your pores have to be plugged in. The sebum have to be accumulating. The bacteria starting to divide and conquer the area. So it takes time. So when you apply a product that let's say cause you the purging, it's most likely it's purging. It's not in a very very low cases that okay it's acne and it's not healing. So to exactly know if it's this one or this one, it's a bit hard. You need to go and visit a dermatologist to understand. Okay, this is a a pimple or I'm reacting to this product.
Mm-hmm.
The other way is the other way you can manage this is try stopping the product. The pimples will let's say recover faster than it's a purging. If it's not taking the regular time of an acne pimple, then most likely it's acne. So a specific way or specific specification or let's say attributes that are obvious for this case or this case is very, very hard to know. But like I said, stopping the product can be really good indicator if it's a purging or just a regular breakout or flare up.
Okay. One thing I wanted to add to that was that I remember when I started when I was younger, I started purging and then I stopped. But that was my problem because you know with tretinoin you have to ride the wave
Exactly. Go through it.
go through it.
Yeah.
But I didn't, and that's when I just stopped when I realized that you know what, I'm breaking out. It's making it worse. It's making it worse. And then
Exactly.
but I've seen people who have just gone through the entire. They've ridden the wave, and then their skin looks way better in terms of dealing with acne. Now, what can you advise to also help deal with irritation when someone is using it? So I've learned that you could use, say, Vaseline. Could you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. So like the tips that is I think, in my opinion, very helpful is stay away from the place where your skin is more susceptible or thinner, let's say, around the eyes, around the nose and the lips, some people. Also, try the very well-known sandwich method, which help to, in a way, buffer out the release of the retinoids. Also, look.
Moisturizer, retinoid.
Yes. Exactly. Also, try to look for a very interesting and exciting technology and formulation, something that is encapsulated, something that is slow released. Those technologies has been used also for a long time in pharmaceuticals to help manage how the drug is going to release and etc. So looking for those formulation, when you see a brand saying, okay, we use encapsulated retinoids, that can help a lot with irritation and even give you better results and penetration. So this is really very good, I think, in my opinion, approach towards reducing the irritation. And lastly, try to not apply a very occlusive layers of a product, let's say Vaseline above tretinoin, because the occlusive environment can help enhance penetration in general. It does not happen to all of people because I'm guilty. I tried it and it didn't do anything. But as a general advice for people.
Okay, so as a general advice, no slugging when you have tretinoin on.
Exactly.
And you mentioned quite a fair bit of things as well. Avoid the thinner areas, apply some occlusive to those areas, and all of those things. And sandwiching, which is applying the moisturizer on, using the retinoids, and then moisturizer again. I appreciate all these first-hand information that you're dropping out there, because some people have heard of retinoids and then just jump and go and get them, but really don't know where to start or how to start. I like the encapsulation you mentioned as well, because I found that encapsulated retinoids are also a lot, not just retinoids, but even for some actives, it makes it a lot easier for the skin in terms of irritation, managing irritation.
True.
So yeah, I'd like you to answer just a few more questions and then we'll run away.
No worries.
Someone has put here, is it okay to alternate between different retinoids, for example, tretinoin, adapalene, to target different receptors?
It's you have to understand that the main two receptor, the RAR and the RXR, the nucleus receptors, have a subtype of other receptors, and each molecule target those. But you need to understand first is why are you doing this? Are you working towards dealing with acne or just dealing with wrinkles? Because there are already options for that. Like adapalene is FDA approved for acne. Tretinoin, it's also approved for acne, plus some very good result with wrinkles. So alternating is, in my opinion, first, there is no evidence that backs this idea up. Two is you are increasing your chance of irritation very much because you are, let's say, how to say it, interfering with multiple pathways in your skin cells, and cells are not very welcoming when that is happening. So in my opinion, focus, answer this question, what I want to target, and go with the specific retinoids for it.
Okay, so in other words, we should stop playing cosmetic chemist at home and
Yes, it's
experts. So see
yes,
your
exactly.
this always as a first point of call. And when you want to go to the pharmacist as well, it's best to get that information and try these things before you go on to the next ones. Someone has also asked what actives you can use. Where is this? Sorry. What are good actives to combine with retinoids? I don't think the person means in the same routine. I'm hoping, but what do you say?
Yeah, so like I said, the retinoids, the gold standard, can target a lot of your skin concern, from wrinkles to acne to, let's say, hyperpigmentation, pie scars. It helps with a lot. But sometimes they can use what we call the synergetic effect of using, I want to focus, let's say, on hyperpigmentation. So if you notice that your retinoids are not helping you enough, you can add something that is focused more on fighting or targeting hyperpigmentation, like niacinamide, alpha-arbutin, let's say kojic acid. Those type of ingredients will force your cells in a way to focus on the hyperpigmentation part and to treat it and help to treat it. So that's what you want to do. And of course, go slowly, batch test, because again, your skin might handle it, my skin couldn't, for example. So go slowly, start with the base, which is tretinoin or whatever retinoids you are going to use, and let your skin adjust to it. Then you can add another ingredients that help you with that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. I think I'll take the last one here. Do you know how long tretinoin works? How long it takes to work once applied within the skin? So how many weeks do you think it takes for you to see results? Is it with acne or with anti-aging or whatever?
Yes, mostly I want you to be patient. Be as patient as possible. And I will tell you why. Because most studies, let's say, gave a 12-week kind of a period, 3 months to 4 months. But in real life, that can be totally different. I remember that also a story when I worked as a pharmacist in a community pharmacy. A patient came with a prescription of tretinoin, and they were using it for a long period of time, 6 months, no results. The acne is still happening, etc.
Months.
And yeah, and the doctor was like, keep using it, stick with it. And after the 8-month period, an amazing result started to show up. So just take your time. Everyone's skin is different. Some people don't react to a specific drug. Other people will react to it fast enough. Some people will react to it very slowly. So take your time. A sweet point, I would say, after 4 months, start looking for a result in general. So other people will take a little bit longer. Other people will be faster. So a sweet spot would be 3 to 4 months.
Okay. Okay, she just clarified here as well that how many hours is it working within the skin? I don't know.
Like, depends on what. Because working like clearing acne, increasing collagen, because another, this will help to, I think, clarify the question, is that when you apply it on your skin, it will goes in and do the job, etc. The results are not immediate. It needs your skin needs like, I think, I'm not very sure if I'm not mistaken, 4 weeks to produce collagen. So you have to wait, and you have to wait for the correct amount to accumulate of collagen to see good results. It has to block the overexpression of the chewing enzyme of collagen, so the amount will be very low to see results. So it takes some time. When you apply for the skin, it's going to go and interact with the receptor, but the result will take some time.
Okay, I like that. So bottom line I'm hearing from this is patience. You sound
Exactly.
just like my dermatologist. You told
Patience.
me patience.
We all love a quick result, me included, but unfortunately, that is the reality right now.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, Mo, I believe if I've missed anybody's questions, we'll save this live when we're done.
Yes,
Put it right under the questions,
of course,
and then Mo will gladly support you with the answers.
of course.
I'd like us to quickly round it up. Do you have any
Yes.
recommendations that you'd give anybody who's new
Uh,
or who are experienced? It's just
yeah, so the product that I've used that I enjoyed is one. Currently, I'm using the one with it's retinol based from Aven. It's called A Oxidative Night Cream or Peeling Night Cream. I hate those weird names, which is a phrase for a name. It's very good. I think the American equivalent is called Retinol by Aven, 0.1%. Also, I used another one which was good, the Geek and Gorgeous A Game Retinol Serum, which is also very nice, very gentle. What I've used as well is the AHC by the Korean brand. The Youthful Emulsion was perfect.
okay.
It's very nice, affordable. You get like 120 ml of the cream, so it's very good. It's also retinol based.
Okay, so Aven, Geek and Gorgeous, and Youth.
The AHC Youth Emulsion.
AHC. Okay. I think my favorite by far that I've used is the retinol Solic. I may be pronouncing that wrong, but
Don't worry.
yeah.
I butchered many names before, and I'm proud of it because I can deal with this like this.
Yes, thank you. So that's Sachi's retinol,
Yeah.
and I also like Allies of Skin's own. It's very rich as a cream for me as
With
well.
the peptides one,
Yeah,
right?
yes,
Yeah.
it has everything inside. I like cocktail creams. Yeah.
Same.
I think one of the other ones I'm yet to try the Medicates. I'm yet to.
Yeah, the crystal line, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it's considered gold standard for retinol, I think.
yeah, I heard.
Among the skincare community, that's what I've heard, but I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
I've bought them to try, but then now I've been put on retinoids, on prescription retinoids for a while. So no more product testing, at least for retinoids for me for a while. And it's
Yeah,
difficult to even test retinoids in general because it takes time to give results. So no,
yes,
when I'm going to recommend any products, it's based on user experience and how my skin really feels. But I can't tell you this retinoid gives you this result in this time. I don't know people who do that. Maybe people who've used it consistently for years or something. But personally, I don't. My recommendations are based on purely on user experience. How?
exactly, same. You don't know if they certainly 100% they are going to enjoy it or gonna get results.
Yeah. Okay. So more another question on this. What would be your message for your younger self?
The message, I think it wouldn't change from the last time we had a live, is that patience, which is the aesthetic of this life was, but patience for my younger self is to be patient. Life is getting better every year, and hopefully in the next few years you will achieve what you have in mind as goals and as the ideal life that you've been always dreaming about. So that would be my best advice, and take life easy, stress less.
Hey, it's easy to say though.
It's very easy. I'm a stress freak, let's say, but that's what I would give as an advice.
Yes, yes. So patience and try and take it easy with life. I'm hoping now that the year is ending, we're just going to drop a whole lot of weight and stress that we've carried along
Yes,
and
yes,
carry great, great energy, positive energy with love and
exactly.
happiness and all things nice into the next year. I've
Good
really
vibes only.
I've really, really enjoyed having you on here. As
Thank you so much.
and it's so nice how you're able to break down information for us to enjoy and understand and go with you on it. And any day if you wrote a book, I'd buy it. Any day if you had a TV show, like
The pressure.
I would take it any day. Just
Thank you so much.
keep doing what you're doing. We really, really enjoy it. And happy Merry Christmas if you're
Thank you so much. And
happy.
enjoy the holidays, you too.
Enjoy the holidays. Thank you so much,
Thank
everybody,
you.
for joining us. And if you
Thank
have questions, please put it
Of
on the
course.
post. Engage. Thank you so much. If you're not
Thank you.
already, give him a follow, and we'll see you later. Take care.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Bye.
You too.